The On Track Foundation launched the Soup Bus in 2009 on July the 6th. So we ticked over 10 years of operation this year. The exciting thing is also that in 2010 we started the Scholarship Fund, which was an arm that a lot of people don't know about. As much as our Soup Bus service is just an amazing service and we love it dearly, and it's something that can get people so involved within the community as volunteers, the Scholarship Fund was one way for us to attempt to break the cycle of homelessness. And we launched that in 2010. Our first graduate or our first student started at Loretto College and went through to graduate and take on teaching internationally, which is extremely exciting. When you have young people, when you see, unfortunately, coming to the Soup Bus service with a guardian, a parent, and sometimes, unfortunately, even on their own at such a young primary age, and yet they have such passion for education, like they love to read, but they're perhaps not going to get the opportunity that many do. And one way for us to be able to assist in that process was to try and launch that Scholarship Fund, which we did. And we have now 5 people every year in scholarships. Our commitment to each student is to support those students financially from year 6 right through to year 12. There are no guarantees, but you've got to give it a go. There are no expectations of the student except that maybe one day they'll pay it forward simply by assisting another person in some way, and I have no doubt that that will occur.
I think from when I first met Craig and Craig put the proposal forward, we immediately thought what a glorious partnership that would be. And from the first student, and we've been blessed now to have 3 students working in partnership with the On Track Foundation, each has brought us joy, and I have a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the work of the On Track Foundation that has enabled us together to create opportunities for 3 young women who are going to make their contribution in their way in society, and we have been blessed to have been a part of their journey. So it is so exciting to think that we will have an opportunity to work with more young people who might never have hoped that they would have an education that would help them reach a potential that will take them into new areas but will also take society forward.
There's the education side of things with our scholarships, but there is another side to the education process. And one of the things that we've been working really hard on over our time is trying to implement social justice aspects within the criteria and the curriculum, and that's really been embraced by all schools. And we've had the opportunity to work with especially a lot of the private secondaries and even a lot of the public, but some of the schools have really taken some huge initiative. The program that we set up with Grammar was amazing. That initiation come from Brendan. We worked really hard with the Wygan boarding school and the boarders there. So we've now put into place, it's taken a few years, but we've managed to put into place year 7 right through to year 12 involvement in that program.
So when I started here 2.5 years ago, just prior to that, the former head of house was trying to get a connection with the Soup Bus. And when I came over, I developed that connection that he'd already tried to start. So in terms of the connection, we have year 7s and 8s. They make sandwiches every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, and they go to the Soup Bus. The year 9s and 10s, they predominantly did fundraising throughout the period. And then our 11th and 12s, well, they did go to the senior citizens. We're trying to get the whole house involved with the community service project. The aim is to obviously raise as much money as possible and to get as many donations of clothes as possible as well. And hopefully throughout the years, we've got year 7s who have started off by making sandwiches, they've raised money, and then they've actually gone to the soup bus and they've seen the full journey and they've seen the impact that homelessness can have on people.
Given that we're only surviving on community donation, we've allocated over $250,000 to the scholarship fund, and those dollars go specifically to student fees, books, uniforms, and supporting the guardian and of course the student with the resources that they need. It's so exciting and it sounds like a lot of money, but the reality of it is we're struggling to put one person per year through a scholarship to be able to assist in breaking the cycle and watch them move forward with their lives and the next generation. My goal, I suppose, would be to be able to duplicate those numbers, that we could have the opportunity to see 3 or 4, people per year going into scholarships. We can easily find those people, but we're limited. The only way we would be able to do that would be, I suppose, strength in numbers, where we could, maybe get a number of people who are as passionate about that as we are, that even small contributions would take a student through private education each year, for a 6-year period. That's pretty exciting value for money.
The first time I found out about this scholarship was a meeting with my mum and Craig. When I first started school, it felt great just knowing that I was at the school I wanted to be at, and just a lot of my friends were there from primary school, and it was great to have that opportunity to go there. Mum was a single mum, just struggling to raise 2 children by herself. It's only now that I realise the impact of the scholarship. Like back then I was kind of just a normal kid going to school sort of thing. It gave me an opportunity that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise. I'd like to thank some really important people, including my mum Janine, Mrs Giddings from my primary school St Thomas More, all the teachers that had my back at St Pat's, and everybody from the foundation, especially Craig. Without you, I wouldn't have the opportunities now that I have in my life.
There is no better gift than the gift of giving. But when you have the opportunity to be able to hand over books and uniforms as brand new presents to that family and children that don't normally get presents at Christmas time, to see the joy on their face and the emotion, it's priceless.